In this video, you will learn the easiest method to make a very strong alkali known as sodium carbonate. For this video, you will need baking soda, something to scrape and stir with, a pot and water, and a tray with some kind of wax paper on it to make the sodium carbonate not stick at the end. First, turn on and heat up your stove as hot as it can go. And then add in your baking soda. Just dump a whole bunch. After this, you're going to want to stir it around a bit. So the reaction that's happening here is a decomposition reaction. Once sodium bicarbonate, the ingredient in baking soda, heats up to around 80 degrees Celsius, it begins to decompose, releasing CO2 gas and creating sodium carbonate. The reason that I prefer this method that I made the most is because the other methods involve using dry sodium carbonate, which does mean that you don't have to boil off the water at the end. But if you start with wet sodium bicarbonate, it doesn't start spraying at you once it starts decomposing. And I don't really want hot sodium carbonate on my face. Then, as it begins to boil, it should also start kind of making a fizzing effect if you've ever mixed baking soda and vinegar before, as it releases the CO2 gas. So now it's starting to boil / fizz a little bit, releasing the CO2 gas as it does this. So now the fizzing has become a little bit more vigorous, and I can tell that it's decomposing a lot faster right now. Then, just so you know, when you put it on your tray afterwards, you don't want to break up the clumps yet as you leave it to dry for a bit, because especially when wet, sodium carbonate tends to absorb CO2 back into itself, recreating the sodium bicarbonate that you just put energy into destroying. So now my mixture is boiling, and once it's done boiling, I am going to scrape out the stuff onto my tray. One thing that's fun to do once it's boiling a lot is just take a bit of your sodium bicarbonate and just dump it in, and it'll decompose so fast it looks like this. In the sodium carbonate's final stages of drying, it can splatter quite a lot, so you might want to put a pot lid partially over, just so that it's not going to shoot at you. So now it's dried enough. So I'm going to move it off the element and turn off the stove. So once it stops splattering, I'm going to scrape it off. Scraping it off, I'm just going to start by forking it around a whole bunch, just to get it all loose. And once I'm done that, I'm going to start scraping it onto this. So now I have it all scraped out, and I'm going to leave it to set in a clump for about 12 hours. You don't want to do it for longer than this, as too much of it is going to convert back to sodium bicarbonate. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos like this. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.